So let's move the conversation a little bit more to maybe product type or certain demographics. So we're seeing in a number of markets, baby boomers. Everybody talks about the millennials, and certainly a huge cohort, one we need to pay attention to traditionally. But we're also seeing a lot in terms of baby boomers, which quite frankly has surprised me in the last year or two. So is that a product that you think about, that you cater to, that you design to, that you buy for? You know, how's that go into your thinking in terms of an opportunity going forward, given the demographics and where we know that the baby boomers are right now? Clyde, I'll start with you.
Well, what I would say is that you have Gen Y and baby boomers looking to compete for housing in exactly the same locations, but in for different unit types. On the baby boom element, we built a project, high-rise in downtown Portland called Ladd Tower, and what we did was we put all of our 2 bedrooms on the corners. You have essentially 180 degrees of view and glass on glass, split master, and that was the unit that everybody was worried about the most in terms of getting rents. And I said, guys, this is an opportunity for a move-down renter or a move-up renter. They lease first. It was the unit type that just flew off the shelf. And what I would say is there's a lot of individuals who are becoming empty nesters who very shortly thereafter really ask themselves, do I want to continue being a weekend warrior here at the house, or do I want to sell this and let the next generation of folks raising kids have this house and go invest in lifestyle? And I would submit to you that if I called my wife right now and said, honey, I'm willing to move back to San Francisco, I would redirect my flight from O'Hare this afternoon because she beat me there.
He'd be moved in on Sunday.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so there, it's an interesting dichotomy.
So you're a believer in that cohort.
Oh, absolutely. And the other side of it is, I would tell you that there are places where your chunk rents have gotten to such a place where people are choosing the micro units. But we've been bifurcating our portfolio, looking at our rent per foot and our success by unit type. And we're actually seeing demand for small units, but the urban 1-bedroom at about 550 square feet for our portfolio is outperforming the studio at 375 to 425 square feet by 10 cents a foot. And so as a developer, where I can build 50 to 75 square feet, no more kitchen, no more bath, no more entry, no more impact fees, and I can get 10 cents a foot more for that small 1-bedroom, why would I ever build a studio?
Mark, what are your thoughts both in terms of the baby boomers and the micro units?
Well, as it relates to the micro units, we've shied away from them, and anecdotally, some of my cohorts have shared stories about the difficulty in lease ups and marketing those properties. Just not maybe some percentage of the institutional community will not look at those for investment. We're one of them. We wouldn't look at a property that had non-traditional unit sizes. And so micro units are not something that I kind of think they're a little faddish, and they're a response to a market that perhaps has reached its peak in pricing. I remember we saw it in the 80s in Texas. Of course, our micro units were about 1,000 square feet, and now there was one developer that did it as a strategy, and he built a number of projects, and I think it works at certain points in the cycle, but not much. The question about the baby boomers and what they're going to do moving forward, I got to tell you, with all the suburban, urban development we're seeing, and I'm kind of going through that decision process right now with my wife. The kids are gone. What am I going to do? Am I going to move into the city? And we live in a terrific part of Dallas. It's very urban. We have all the same stuff that they do in the city. Maybe it's a little longer drive to go to the museum, but outside of that, I just think suburban urban is changing the whole world that we live in these, especially the growth markets. They're just such fabulous places. The Woodlands in Houston, Frisco and Dallas are great examples. And so I think from the baby boomer generation, I think the long and the short of it, their kids are going to end up wanting to grow up, raise their families in the suburbs, grow up in the same neighborhoods that they did. And I think inevitably the baby boomers are going to stay there.